Hello everybody, how are we all doing? It's Paul and it's Circular Motion and it's part 2 of my delve into my 12-inch record singles collection. This is the second time I've tried to film this because the first time I had all kinds of issues, including a camera that just didn't want to actually stay focused on me, a nosebleed and battery issues, so I'm having another go on a different day. But I hope you're all okay. I hope the weather's okay where you are, and I hope you're managing to avoid all the virus and staying safe and staying sane. Thanks to everyone that's coming back for more. I really appreciate that, and hello and welcome to everyone that's just joining me for the first time. If you are joining me for the first time and you like what you see, please remember to hit the subscribe button because that would really help me out, and hit the like button and tickle the notification bell to make sure you keep up to date with my new video releases going forward. I really appreciate that. So this is we've got quite a lot to get through, so I'm going to try and keep it going. Give me a nudge if I start waffling, because I do tend to do that. So 12-inch singles. Last week we looked at my collection of Queen 12-inch singles, and we talked about how great they are because they sound, for me, I don't know, maybe I'm just imagining it, but I always think they sound so much better than the actual album versions of the tracks. And quite often, particularly Queen, you got extended mixes, or and you get remixes, and they just seem to be mixed a little better. They're louder for a start, and they don't seem to. I don't think they make them at all these days. I think every now and again you'll get the release of a 7-inch. The last 7-inch I bought that was new was Ghost Kiss the Go Goat, and it was 12 quid. And I remember singles being 25p, 50p, so I was like, what? But anyway, I digress. Let's crack on. Quite a few to go through, and we shall start with Blind Melon, No Rain. I bought this off eBay. I've got some original purchases that have been with me a while. This one is a new one. Didn't read the description well enough because it's actually, they're all live tracks on here. It's not actually the original single release. Nice enough. It is, there's a poster this side. Get it out. Which is quite decent. It's got the band on one side, on both sides really, but it's quite a nice picture. And then there's like more band stuff on the other side. I've opened this without really thinking this. Oh, there we go. That was easier than I thought. And then it's got an actual disc itself, which is, it's just got Blind Melon on both sides. I'm not going to grab there. Not that I'll ever play this really, but No Rain, Soak the Sky, Paper Scratcher and Deserted, all live versions. 3 of them boasting to be soundboard mixes, which leads me to think that this is maybe not an official release by the band or the band's estate. But anyway, yeah, nice little novelty. Speaking of novelties, we've got the Black Crowes, Remedy. Now, I'm not a massive fan of the Black Crowes, however, there are a couple of tracks that I really like, and this is one of them. This is a recent purchase, and it should have had a sticker on there, I believe, of like the cartoon sort of Black Crow logo-y thing. It sounds amazing, it really does sound good. The percussion that's sort of going on in the background it's just right there in the room with you. Lifted up, it's like an old film canister. It's got foil on one side, and then we've got the record in there. And I think I paid about 15 quid for this, but it is in perfect condition. It plays beautifully. So yeah, I was really pleased with that. What I do is I tend to go on eBay at any given time and just like put in 12-inch singles and just filter it with ending soonest, which is a bit of a risk because you don't have. I like to check now with the sellers if I go specifically looking for something, to make sure that I'm not going to get ripped off when it says vinyl in excellent condition, and you get it and it sounds like someone's scraping a crisp packet under the needle. So it's a bit of a risk doing it that way, but you get some absolute bargains. This isn't one of those. This is one I've had for a very long time. I did try and sell it when I sold the rest of my vinyl and nobody would buy it. And it's by a band called Warrior. Yeah, exactly. As you can see, it's got like quite a natty, trying to get that so you can see it, like a little, turn it that way, like holographic image in the centre there, and it boasts the unique 12-inch holographic plus picture disc in one. For best results, use a concentrated white light source on hologram. Yeah, it's pretty shit, as is the single itself. I bought this because I thought, oh yeah, look at that, that looks really good, and it's terrific. It's just totally forgettable heavy metal. Yeah, enough said about that. I'll save that one till a bit later on. Next up, another recent purchase, Skid Row. This band were quite a favourite at one point. I loved the first two albums, and then they seemed to sort of take a massive nosedive after Seb Back left, which, you know, he's an arse. But the first two albums, particularly the first one, is just brilliant, and this is a great track. I Remember You brings back, the whole album brings back a lot of really great memories, to be fair. And the B-side, there's no extended mixes on this, but the B-side has got Making a Mess, and then it's got a live version of Big Guns, which is a hell of a track. Yeah, not much to say about that, except it was a purchase from my favourite record shop in the town here, and it was only $4.99, and it is in excellent condition. And we've got more. This was probably in the 90s rather than, I don't know, 1989. More heavy metal. Megadeth, Normal Mr. Nice Guy. This was taken from the soundtrack to the film Shockers, and as such, it's more of like a sampler for the soundtrack album rather than being an actual Megadeth release, because it's got No More Mr. Nice Guy as the A side, track 1, and then it's got on the B side Different Breed, performed by Dead On, and Demon Bell, also called the Ballad of Horace Pinker, who was the main bad guy, performed by Dangerous Toys, co-written by Desmond Child, interestingly enough. But yeah, not very brilliant. But the first track, the actual track I bought it for, No More Mr. Nice Guy, is a brilliant version of that brilliant song by Alice Cooper. Cruella de Vil. I heard this track, Gypsy Girl, on some music program way back in the 80s, and it stuck with me because the guitarist got a sound out of his guitar, not unlike Brian May. I thought, oh, that's really good. And then I just saw this on eBay. I think it was like £9 or something, and so yeah, I got it, and it's really good. They disappear without a trace. I don't think they made it any kind of waves whatsoever, but it's a decent nick. Gypsy Girl on the A side, on the B side, Blues Blues Blues, and an edit of Gypsy Girl. If you can find it on YouTube, give it a listen. It's quite decent. Quite a frenetic, upbeat track. Kiss, Crazy Nights. Yeah, it's alright. It's not my favourite period of Kissology, Kisstory, whatever you want to call it. It's not a bad album. It was the first time I saw them live, actually, was on this tour. It's got Crazy Nights and No No No, which are both off the Crazy Nights album. Then on the B side, it's got versions of Lick It Up and All Night. Lick It Up, obviously, off the album the same name, but All Night was on Asylum. Both great tracks, but it's indecent. I've had this since it came out. And again, it was one of those ones that I just couldn't get rid of at the time, so I just hung on to it. But it's in good nick and it plays nicely. The Cult, Rain, nice track. I bought this off eBay again, more for nostalgia purposes. I used to play this track in a band and it just brings back some happy memories. Yeah, it was £5 I think it was plus postage, and it's in great condition. It sounds really nice. I'm not sure what have we got. Side B, Here Comes the Rain, composed by Asprey and Duffy. So yeah, I've not actually listened to that, but I want to listen to the B side, the A side. Let's have a little bit of Hello. Again, another recent purchase, another great eBay find. A tenner again. It seemed to be like a theme for 12-inch singles overall. I think the most expensive one I bought was the Show Must Go On, which I paid about £30 for. But this, this is great. Got Jump, Running with the Devil, and House of Pain. You know, and it sounds, it's just so in your face. I mean, the album's great anyway, but when you put this on, it just, everything's up a level. So yeah, that's good, in great condition. Electric Boys, Electrified, Swedish funk metal. This one is one I've had a while. It's decent, quite like it. It's off their first album, and if you ever get a chance to listen to any, you know, just give them a go. They've got a brand new album coming out soon, so keep your eye out for that. I believe it'll be available on vinyl. A guilty pleasure. Now, I'm not a fan of this band at all, but this track is too catchy for words. Love Bomb Baby. Again, check it out on YouTube if you can. I'll see if I can put a link down below. I don't know what the other tracks sound like, but this, it's like a band from, I don't know, Scunthorpe or wherever, that sort of took LA glam and showed them how it's done. It really is a belter of a track. The chorus, just, you can't just help but sing along. Bit of Deep Purple, Knocking at Your Back Door, Perfect Strangers. On the A side, on the B side, a load of interviews with the legendary Tommy Vance from the Radio 1 rock show. Yeah, it's probably one of my favourite Deep Purple songs, and I got this off eBay again. I do have some originals, I promise. For example, this one I've had since it was released way back in 1980, whenever it was. You Can't Stop Rock and Roll by Twisted Sister. B-side, Feel the Power, 4-Barrel Heart of Love, One Man Woman, all excellent tracks. None of them are album tracks, so it was really good to kind of get that. At the time, you felt special. Dee and the boys on the back riding grifters and choppers. I think there's a girl's bike on there somewhere, but yeah, really good, and again, it sounds just really nice. Everything really just hits you right in the stomach when it kicks off. Rush, this is a recent purchase. It was just $4.99 in record hooks. So like, yeah, I'll give it a go. Why not? It's all right. New World Man. It's not from my favourite Rush album. Vital Signs, sorry, is on the B side. And Free Will Live from Exit Stage Left, so that's quite good. Vital Signs is also live, but yeah, it's alright, it's not brilliant. Sticking with Rush though, I should get this off eBay, and it's Closer to the Heart. It's a cracking, and it's got Closer to the Heart on the A side. On the B side, Bastille Day, Anthem, and the Temples of Syrinx. I think the Temple of Syrinx is the live version, if I'm not mistaken. But Closer to the Heart sounds so good on this. It really does. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to catch any 12-inch singles, or even 7 inches, but 12 inches in particular, I always find just sounds, you know, if sound's your thing, that's the way to do it. Another guilty pleasure. Was never a massive Poison fan, but this song just does something for me. Bizarrely, it's the second track on this. This is 4 tracks altogether, and the first track's called Swamp Juice Solo in brackets. Then on Skinny Bop, Valley of Those Souls, Poor Boy Blues. Can't tell you what the B-side sounds like, so I've never played it. Love on Skinny Bop, and on this, the drums are pretty like clinical. They cut right through you. More Black Crows. Hard to Handle, which I think was their first single off their first album. shaky money maker, if I'm not mistaken. Again, it's such a good item to have if you like Black Crowes, because hard to handle. Sounds great on the album, definitely, but again, it's on another level on this. Maybe I hear my washing machine in the background there, probably. It's got an acoustic version of Jealous Again, so you know this is quite nice to have as well, and some live versions of Stare It Cold and Twice as Hard. So yeah, this is an eBay purchase. I've had that one for about a year now. Let's have a look. So we looked at my last video. I've been digging some old school 80s heavy metal, and Anthrax popped up, and so this is something that I've had a long time. It's Anthrax Indians off their fantastic Among the Living album. B-side is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath and Taint. This sounds absolutely killer. This is so loud. It's got a great. They did a couple of releases where they put them in poster packs, and so there's like loads of pictures of the band, and this folds out into a giant version of the Indians. So yeah, I've had this all this time. This has been like a treasured possession. I decided I wasn't going to sell this when I sold my vinyl 30 years ago, when it was 20 years ago now. I'm so glad I didn't. Twisted Sister. I've actually got two versions of this. I bought one, and I think this is the bad one, this is the good one, or vice versa. I can't remember, but one of them, it looked like the buyer had tried to straighten it somehow, and the grooves had been kind of flattened out a bit, and it just sounded dreadful. So he just gave me a refund for that, but he said just don't bother sending it back, and then I used that refund to buy another version of eBay, and it sounds great. Now this is the 33 1/3. I don't know if you can see it there, play loud at 33 1/3. It's the Twisted Sister singles back in the 80s were brilliant, because you got the A side, and on the B side you got live tracks generally, and the live tracks, particularly on these, included some of Dee Snider's legendary stage raps, and this is no exception. So we've got Tear It Loose, Destroy It, and It's Only Rock and Roll there, built-in version of Stone's classic there. Got some tour dates there, and I see that they played locally the Newcastle Mayfair, but yeah, it's well worth having if you kind of like Dee and the Boys. Recorded the B-sides were recorded live at the Marquee Club, for anybody that's into the history there. Other Anthrax, this was a recent purchase. It should have had a poster with it, but it didn't. Mainly because it's got Friggin' on the Riggin' on the B-side, which is a nice cover of the Sex Pistols classic "Hold On, Give It Some Bollocks." Yeah, so there's that. A little bit more Kiss, cheesy, Reason to Live, again off the Crazy Nights. I've had this a long while. B-side, Who Wants to Be Lonely and Thrills in the Night. Nothing really special about this. It does sound really nice though. It kind of gives a little bit of an edge, because I always thought that the Crazy Nights album just sounded a bit weak, but there's got a little bit more sort of belly to it. This one and the Crazy Nights 12-inch. Who are you going to call? Yeah, so Ghostbusters, I've had this since it came out. I love the film, I love films, and so it was nice to kind of get this. Again, it's in great condition. Ghostbusters on one side and Ghostbusters dub instrumental version on the B side, and I paid £1.79 for this from Sounds Good Records in Northallerton back in 1980, whenever it was. So yeah, does it say? No, it doesn't have a date there. My memory's not great. While we're on cheesy pop, Bangles, Walk Like an Egyptian. Again, this one sounds really good. It's got an extended dance mix, so it's not the actual radio edit or the album version. It's got a track called Not Like You on, then it's got two more versions, an a cappella mix and a dub mix of Walk Like an Egyptian. Pictures of the girls on the back there. You know, it's a great tune, I don't care what you say. They were a great band. Don't Play Poker with the Skull Spark Joker. We've got Zodiac Mind Warp himself with probably the biggest hit, Prime Mover, or is it their only hit? Yeah, Prime Mover. I went all the way to Reading in 1987 to see this band with a couple of people, and we got pissed and fell asleep in the car and missed them. But we did see the Stranglers, who were dull as hell, and that was the first time I saw Alice Cooper live, and he was phenomenal. He was really good. He blew me away, mainly with all the stage shenanigans. But yeah, it's good. It's good. B-side. B-sides on these. I think the B-sides are quite cool, actually. Laughing in the Face of Death and The Hangover from Hell. Both of them non-album tracks, so it's worth having, you know, if you're a completist for any kind of band. It's one of those things that, you know, you've got to have it. So yeah, there's that. Again, I've had this since it came out. Let's have a look. Def Leppard. I'm not a massive fan of the later Def Leppard stuff. It's alright, but for me, like On Through the Night and High and Dry, two absolutely brilliant new wave of British heavy metal albums. Then we got Pyromania. Pyromania is alright. For me, it's a bit hit and miss, but Photograph is an absolutely killer track. It's one of my favourites, and you know, this is why I've got this. I've had this all this time. Produced by Robert John Buckline, of course, who's worked with Bryan Adams, AC/DC, his wife Shania Twain, and I think that if you listen to a lot of Bryan Adams and Def Leppard in the 90s, they sometimes sound very similar. That's just me. King of the Hill, I Do You, another band that seemed to like burn brightly and then just disappear after one album. They had 2 tracks out that I know of, this one and a ballad called If I Say. Both are great tracks if you get a chance to catch up with them. This came with a nice sort of promo shot of the band. Check it out on YouTube, see what you think. But yeah, I got this off eBay for pennies again. I think for $2.99 because nobody heard of them. Getting to the end very quickly. Bad news. Before they were Spinal Tap, they were Bad News. Ade Edmondson, Rick Mail, Nigel Planer and Peter Richardson. So we've got Vim Fuego, Spiderweb, Colin Grigson and Den Dennis, and I'm not getting back in the van until Den says we're heavy metal. Produced by Brian May, this and the album, so there is a bit of a link there. The B-side is Life with Brian, instrumental track, which there is a little bit of Brian May in there, you can hear it, and 1 or 2 tracks on the album. If you can ever catch up with it, you can also detect the unmistakable sound of Brian's guitar in there. So yeah, they absolutely murder Bohemian Rhapsody on this, but it's got great comfort value. I've had this since it came out. Getting to the end. One more Van Halen. Hot for Teacher, I've had this since it came out. Hot for Teacher, hear about it later in Little Dreamer. It's again, this is one of those things that because it's on this 45 and it's been mixed a little bit louder, they can cut it a little bit louder. It really does just cut you in half when it kicks off. Brilliant stuff. So two left. Number 1 is Anthrax, I Am the Law. Another poster pack, which is pretty cool. So B-side on this was I Am the Law, the legendary I Am the Man and Buddy Love Bomb and Satan's Lounge Band. Both non-album tracks at the time. I think you could get them on Attack of the Killer Bees now, but I Am the Man in particular is just brilliant. So the poster pack has all the band as judges. I'm hoping that you're familiar with 2000 AD and Judge Dredd. So they've all done it, and they're all done by Charlie Benante, who's got a little bit of a Carlos Ezquerra style about him, and he used to draw Judge Dredd. And then the whole thing opens up into a giant Judge Dredd poster. Again, I've had this all my life. wasn't going to part with it when I sold everything else because I just thought, nah, it's just too precious. So there's that. And then finally, we've got David Bowie. John and Only Dancing, which was recorded in 1972, and it's from the Ziggy Stardust sessions. And then John and Only Dancing again from 1975 from the Young American sessions at Sigma Sound. Whatever that means. So yeah, that is everything I've been through today. You know, hopefully you found it interesting. Again, you know, if you don't have any 12-inch singles, check them out. See if you can get some. Give them a listen. See what you think. I really like them. There's a lot more definition in the sound. I always feel a lot more. You can hear a lot more going on, and they just have a little bit more power to them. I do have a few more coming, thanks to a very good and old friend of mine, a dear friend. I will share those with you when they land. And until then, thank you very much for joining me. Please hit subscribe, it would mean so much to me. And stay safe, take care, and I will see you at the weekend.